Longer term viewers may remember that last year I drove the new Nissan Micra, and already the Japanese brand has updated their popular Super Mini. More Micra for more people is the tagline, but what exactly does that mean? Well, there's a new engine, a new automatic gearbox and a warm hatch variant called the N Sport. The N Sport has its own dedicated video, so if you would like to watch that, please click the link in the top right hand corner now. For those of you looking to stick around for this video, I'm going to kick things off with the 1 litre Xtronic model. So you join us in the new Micra. So I'm starting off with the Xtronic. So the Xtronic, if you aren't familiar with the phrase, is basically Nissan's name for their CVT automatic gearbox. Now CVT stands for continuously variable transmission. So it is a single speed gearbox, unlike a dual clutch or your traditional torque converter. Now, one of the drawbacks of a CVT is that you can have what is called a rubber band effect. So what happens, you put your foot down, the revs build up, they hold, and not much happens, and then, oh, hang on a minute, there's some power going to those wheels. So the way how this CVT has been designed is that the driving sensation should be more like your traditional automatic. I'm joined by Dave from AutoBears, so
Hello.
Please give him a very warm welcome. I will put his channel details and social media bits and bobs in the video description below. Thank you so much for joining me.
You're very welcome, and likewise to you, Aaron, as well.
So Dave has already driven this car, so I've taken over from him. So please check out his channel to find to get a view of his thoughts. But of course he will chime in on my video as well to just give me his thoughts. So let's see how this gearbox does. Foot down. That's actually not too bad. There was a little bit of delay and the revs built and there was a bit of power, and then there was another little delay and I got a bit more power. So it wasn't a full rubber band effect. There was a little bit of a delay, but bearing in mind I put my foot flat down, which obviously you wouldn't really have that style of driving on your daily commute, not unless you're driving in anger. But going up this hill, little bit of throttle, and the response is pretty good actually. Does it feel like a CVT?
Initially, no, it's a bit quicker than what you expect it to be.
No, it does feel quite responsive. Now, Dave's driven this on the motorway. We are in Portugal at the moment, although if you looked at the weather and the surroundings, you probably think I was lying. No, trust me, we are somewhere near Lisbon in Portugal. You'll have to take my word for it. But Dave has driven this car on the motorway, and as a passenger, it seemed to perform absolutely fine. I had, no reservations or no complaints. What are your thoughts, Dave?
I mean, driving on the motorway, it wasn't too busy. It was actually a very relaxing gearbox to use. Yes, if you need to overtake, if you need to get that instant power, it's not as responsive as something that you would get in like a dual clutch system, that you get in something like the Seat Ibiza. However, for day-to-day driving, it's much better than other CVTs that I've driven, and as a result, it does mean you've got yourself a relaxing drive. You haven't got that, as Aaron calls it, the rubber band effect all the time, constantly there for you. And it's something that I've noticed. I'm hopefully, if this lorry in front of us will get out the way,
tell me about it.
Experience it. There's a slight character I found with the gearbox in the fact that if you interpret and kind of anticipate the road ahead, you can get the throttle response ready, and when you come out of a corner, whether going up a hill or going through a crest or around a corner and coming out of it, instead of having to wait for the revs to build up so that way you're accelerating out a few seconds later, the acceleration's already there. So it's a weird kind of character to it. As I said, if this van gets out of the way, this lorry gets out of the way, we're on an ideal road where you should be able to experience it.
Yes. Whilst we are stuck behind this lorry, let me talk to you about the other changes. So the Xtronic gearbox is new for the Micra, following customer feedback. I think in Nissan's press release they said 12% of buyers would go for the automatic Micra, which is why they've brought the Xtronic in. Other new things on this car, so we have a new engine. So the 0.9 litre turbocharged 3-cylinder petrol has been binned, and in its place we have a 1 litre turbocharged 3-cylinder petrol engine, which has 100 horsepower with 160 Newton meters of torque. So it has 10 more horsepower and also 10 more Newton meters of torque. It also has a little bit more performance, and it's also more fuel efficient. So it's a win-win situation. You get more performance, but it won't cost you any more to run than the 0.9 litre. In fact, it'll be cheaper to run. Speaking of performance, what are the stats? This engine, when mated to the Xtronic gearbox, will hit 62 miles per hour in 13 seconds and will continue to a top speed of 110 miles per hour. In regards to fuel economy, on a combined run, this engine offers 44.9 mpg and 142 grams per kilometre of CO2. In case you are wondering, that is using the new WLTP method. Those are the stats, but can you notice a clear difference in performance? I don't think you'd find the difference is night and day, but you do have a bit more versatility and a bit more usability of the engine's performance. And it feels pretty nippy. Now, one of the things I complained about when I drove the 0.9 litre was the fact that it kind of lacked the fizz, the zestiness of Ford's EcoBoost. But what about this engine? Well, it is an improvement. Is it quite as exciting and as fun as in EcoBoost? No, I wouldn't say so. I would need to spend longer with it to give you a better answer, because this is a first drive. Dave and I, we have been invited to the international launch, so this is very much our first impressions. However, I say that the engine isn't quite as fun as the EcoBoost, but that isn't to say it's no fun at all, because it still offers a nice amount of character. Of course, it's 3 cylinders, so you get a nice thrum when you give it a bit of beans, and it can sound a little bit raughty. But like the 0.9 litre, you do get that whine as you approach the red line. I can't demonstrate now because I'm stuck behind a Fiesta, arguably the car's biggest rival, particularly in the UK, so it's quite fitting we're stuck behind a Fiesta. There we are, there's the whine.
There's the whine.
A little bit of a rubber band effect there, but it kind of sorted itself out quite quickly. And to be fair, again, I did just floor it. And like you said earlier, with the CVT, you need to hustle it a little bit more. You need to treat it a little bit differently, as you would to your standard automatic. Going down here, aren't we? Yeah. So we are about to encounter a motorway.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how we do. There is a little bit of rubber banding, but it's not too bad, and it definitely isn't quite as prominent as the CVT I had in the Honda CR-V I drove a few weeks back. If you're interested in watching that review, then please feel free to do so. The link will be in the top right hand corner. So in regards to other changes, well...
Sorry.
That's all right, no worries.
Oh, have you opened one of these?
Yes, I have.
Okay, that's the one that you've opened.
You don't want my germs?
No. And you don't want mine? There we go. Right, hold on.
So in regards to other changes and other headlines, well, there aren't too many. This may be an updated Micra, and the name of this event is actually More Micra, and in the presentation Nissan was quite keen to keep, they had a tagline, More Micra for more people, and that was a tagline they quoted quite a few times. And the reason they've got that tagline is because it's offering more choice and more options for potential buyers of the Micra. You now have an automatic, you have the N Sport if you want a bit more flair and a bit more performance. So what Nissan is doing with the latest Micra is just trying to give buyers more options. So the actual styling hasn't changed, but is that a bad thing? No. I think this is easily the best looking Micra ever. So I think the styling is absolutely on point. So I'm glad Nissan hasn't done anything to change that. And Dave, I think it's quite interesting that Nissan has put these updates in only two years after it was first introduced, this generation of Micra.
It is quite a unique thing to happen, but it's a good thing in terms of from a manufacturer, in terms of loyalty, in terms of, you know, for the customer's point of view, it shows as well that Nissan are listening to the customer, and that's a big thing nowadays, because there are a lot of times you get a car come out, there will be flaws, there will be something about a car that perhaps the manufacturer hasn't thought about, and it's something that you know, a number of customers, a number of drivers want to have. And I think it's a great thing that Nissan have listened. They've taken the biggest negatives that people have put down, the biggest challenges about the car, and they've looked to rectify them, they've looked to resolve them. So it's great in the fact that the first thing that they've mentioned is the performance. Someone said that, you know, people have been saying that 0.9 is slightly underperforming,
which it was,
and they've rectified it with this really good 1 litre. Now the 117 is an absolute hoot, and you know, it does work brilliantly for the Micra, and it is the engine. I'm using your words here, Aaron. It is the engine that the Micra should have started with. It is the engine, you know, and it would have done a huge amount for the Micra's appeal back 2 years ago. But it's a good thing that as well that they're looking at everything else, connectivity with your phone, the actual TomTom integration with the sat nav.
Yeah,
they're all things, and it's great for manufacturers to listen to their customers, because that's building a loyalty with the, you know, current Micra owners, but also for those who are looking at a Micra now, there's added appeal. You've now got better engines, you've now got better infotainment, and the styling didn't need to change, because as you rightly said, it's the best looking Micra that's ever been, and it's arguably one of the best looking cars in its segment, and that's a great thing in itself. You know, Nissan have done a huge job with, you know, the styling of this car in such a good way. So it's good that only 2 years on, yes, there's been changes happening to the Micra, but there are changes that needed to happen, and I think that's the kind of the key thing, particularly in a very competitive market with the likes of the Ford Fiesta. You don't want to be lagging behind.
No. I was going to give you my thoughts on the new Nissan Connect system in this video, but I'm going to make a separate video on it, as I didn't want to make this video too long. So if you want to know what I think of the new system and how it works, be sure to look out for that video. Now guys, if you're watching, I'm not going to touch too much upon comfort and those kind of things, because it hasn't changed from the previous Micra. So if you want a full in-depth review of the Micra, be sure to check out my review. Of course, it won't have this engine, it will be the 0.9 litre engine, but if you want to know more about rear space, boot space, practicality, those kind of things, comfort, then I would urge you to have a look at that video, whereas this video is really purely focusing on the new changes. But just to touch upon comfort is pretty good.
Yeah.
Of course, we are in Portugal, so the roads, most of the roads are pretty smooth, but we're going down here at about 80 or so kilometres. There's not much road noise.
No.
A little bit of tyre noise, but it's not intrusive. How much will the new Micra set you back? Well, of course, that depends on which trim level you go for. There are 6 in total: Vizia, Vizia Plus, Ascenta, N Sport, N Connector, and the range-topping Tecna. These range from £12,875 all the way through to £18,760. The Ascenta may prove to be the sweet spot in regards to value and kit, as it starts from £15,095, offering 16-inch alloys, cruise control, Nissan Connect system, air conditioning, and autonomous emergency braking, to name a few features. For those of you looking to find out how the 5-speed manual performs, fear not, as I also had the chance to have a quick spin in that as well. So you joined me in the 5-speed manual. Once again, I'm joined by Dave.
Hello.
So let's see what this car is like. This car also has the 1 litre 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, which has 100 horsepower with 160 newton meters of torque. But I'm sure what you really want to know is how the gearbox is. Well, like the N Sport we drove earlier, the 5-speed is a little bit notchy, it's a little bit rubbery. Now, it's by no means a bad gearbox, but when you compare it to its rivals, so I know I've probably said it quite a few times now, but the Seat Ibiza and the Ford Fiesta, it's not quite up to scratch, I'm afraid. Yes, it's an okay gearbox.
I wholeheartedly agree. The gearbox, yes, very much like the N Sport. It's a bit notchy. It's been actually quite vocal. It actually makes quite a bit of a chunky noise, particularly in lower gear.
So the gearbox isn't perfect, but how does it compare in performance to the Xtronic? Well, it'll hit 62 miles per hour in 10.9 seconds, which is over a second faster than the Xtronic, and the top speed is 114 miles per hour, 4 miles per hour quicker than the Xtronic. It's more frugal as well, as it offers 51.4 mpg on a combined run, and it emits less CO2 because it emits 123 grams per kilometre. So to conclude, Nissan has done a good job with the updates on the latest Micra. Is it enough to make it a better car than the Seat Ibiza or the Ford Fiesta? In all honesty, in my opinion, no. But what Nissan has done is broadened the appeal of the Micra, which I think can only be a good thing. You now have a better engine, an automatic gearbox, a warm hatch variant, and better infotainment system. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If so, give it a massive thumbs up. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click that bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. And if you aren't subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Be sure to subscribe for more car obsession.